So, Alexis Murphy, she being missing and nobody knowing where she is or if she's alive. The signs are telling in that. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two things combined or make them into one. This video more so is made for Alexis, her mother, more so than Discovery itself, right? I'm saying the very things in which I'm about to say could in fact, yes, pose issues on my own end, because to say you feel that somebody more likely is guilty on my end is to say, despite who feels bothered by what reason or why, right? Usually corporate entities and all the rest, you have to be very careful in the mouth and the wording and suggesting, well, more likely he is guilty or she is guilty, right? And yet for me, I'm the type of person, I take a chance in saying just what I'm going to say. So for anybody that gets mad or anything, don't ever try to come check me with that. I'm gonna in fact question in the very beginning of the video, and this video is more so made for the individuals who have already heard of her story. I'm tilted off axis because my mic is this way and I like it that way, looking this way, right? So yes, I'm gonna question the two males in this woman, in this young, yes, I say child because she's younger than me, young child's life, right? And the disappearance of her. This video once again is made more so for those who have in fact heard of her story. As everyone else, yeah, you'll find out more of the story later on. So I question the black male individual. I should have put his photo up, as well as the white male individual. Interesting that both races are involved in this. The white male and the black male is in fact Randy Taylor. Yes, that's one individual. See, I have to, and the other individual is Jesse Matthew Jr. These two individuals have to be questioned, yes, before the story, because some type of way, when I said this video is made for her mother, the graphic nature in that, just to let you guys know, because I feel some type of way this all had something to do with sex in nature, the content of it or the luring of it in relation to her. Now, when you get on YouTube, you check around and you look around to see who's saying what and why. People act like they fear in taking chances, as in coming out your mouth and saying, well, or maybe they have, maybe they're not thinking this far. Maybe they just think, well, maybe he just killed her. No, I can feel and sense deep underneath there's some sexual tones or something about this story. Because for her to be that pretty, that beautiful, and then something just happened where she disappears, and not only that, her eyelash is found in the possession of one individual, right? You got, yes, a strand of hair that's found. That's another thing, right? There's a t-shirt that, yes, belongs to an individual with blood on it, right? And then her DNA stands in that. So that paints a better picture of who did what and why, right? And yet, to ask about sex, why is everybody so sexually repressed where they can't question the sexual nature of what could have happened, such as a rape or anything worse, right? What else is worse than rape? It's death, right? That's why I'm sitting on this camera. So when it comes to the two individuals, let me see right quick. They need to be, because see, her aunt, Alexis' aunt, in fact, bought a car from Taylor, Randy Taylor, the white male you seen up above, right? When you have dealerships and somebody give you the keys to your car, right? And then come to find out your niece comes up missing, or the better picture of saying, well, I bought a car from him, right? The questioning. So what was or were the intention and or purpose of Jeffrey Matthews Jr.? What was that? Was in fact the black male with the dreadlocks, right? And then you had Randy Taylor, which is the white male. What was their involvement in Murphy's life and why? I want you, the viewer, to question that, because see, in this world we live in, people don't question enough. And I think that's the problem, and that's why missing children cases go unsolved and unresolved, as well as adult persons. People are not using their brain. They're sitting around on Instagram just watching people. Watching people just to watch and yet not getting involved. There's a scientific nature. If I'm going to watch something, I'm going to try to use my brain to pick apart. Because, see, FBI needs even that, right? So, yes, what could their involvement be? Think about that in her life. The two Mills. What would make two grown men of their ages want to be involved with such a young and very pretty girl? What would those two men want to do with her? Do I look like a podcast on camera? I know. Yeah, people say that sort of thing. But what could have, in fact, been the reason? I need you guys to think more deeply. Outside of everything else about the video and all the rest, I'm the type of person I cut to the chase. Let's get to the chase in the here and now, right now, and let it be done and serve with that, right? No talking around the corner or no whisper report with that. Let's say what could be the possibly right here. What would two grown men of that age, because remember, she was only 17 years old, right? A 17-year-old in the company of a 37-year-old and in the company of a 32-year-old. What would those two grown men want to do with a 17-year-old? Think about that. Her being that pretty. Could a threesome have been involved? Think about that. People gonna be mad at me. They in fact should be, as in stay mad. They're losers with that sort of thing, because I need to know. I'm the type of person I want to know. That's how you solve world issues, as in resolve, when you bring it to the forefront and ask the real questions scientifically. 37 years old and 32 years old is a lot much more older than 17 years old. What could have been the sexual suggestive nature with that, and yet not her putting herself on them the other way around, right? As in a threesome, I question a threesome. Could they have both have lured her for sexual gratification purposes? And I'm asking this because Taylor, the white male that you're seeing in the photo above, that I should have put the other black, or not the other black, the black male, but to have so much on this screen is to say he might pop up a little bit too late at the end of the video, because all this is time my photography work with that sort of thing, right? He's supposed to be there and yet he's not. My apologies. But I'm asking because Taylor had somewhat of an infatuation with not only porn videos, but sitting in his car at the local gas station watching women as they would pass through. Did you get that? Taylor had a thing for an infatuation for porn videos. And sitting in his car and watching women pass through at a local gas station. He would also put faces of women onto a self-made shrine, like build a shrine or collage with his own hands, right? That was highly sensual and kinky, but much more worse than that. More so delving off in BDSM, but more so like in a realm of torture, right? Beyond BDSM. Cutting off faces, cutting off heads and faces, and putting them on other bodies and all the rest, right? A little bit disturbing. Taylor stated he felt Matthews had something to do with the disappearance of Murphy. So Taylor, in fact, once again, is the white male, as the black male is Matthews, right? So Taylor once again stated he felt that Matthews had something to do with the disappearance of Murphy. He stated such by saying a black male with dreads, right? Something in this, I keep sensing that both of them were more than likely in cahoots with one another. I'm able to sense that and feel that. My heart and my very soul in which I breathe and live in existence is telling me that. As in they're covering one another is what I'm trying to say. Something with that. They're covering one another. They have to be, or something. Okay, so how does Taylor and Matthew, once again, how do they know one another? as well as the secrets people keep. If you got people that are couples and they cheat on one another, to say even people that are distant can keep secrets. People have all type of relationships you or I don't know about. Could these two men have been lovers quietly? Could they have been in sexual escapades as involved, as in doing threesomes with women before they kill them? That's my 10th or 11th time of questioning. What could the secrets have been? Because see, what I don't like is when people say, oh, it's not likely that serial killers would work together and kill women. You don't know what anything is likely to be. Even I don't know, and yet I do know possibility is very real. I'm sitting here as in I'm black shade and civil rights movement and all that has occurred, and yet I'm with Discovery. I'm sitting here, right? That's to say anything is possible, even between two serial killers, mass murders and all the rest with that sort of thing. Anything is likely, or even killers working together and covering their backs. Some people are more skilled than other individuals, even in killing, which is why killers work together sometimes to begin with, right? Not everyone is very well evolved in the nature of killing, such as killing people and getting rid of bodies and storing them and all the rest. Sometimes people, there's one that kill and then there's the one that lure. That's still operation done together as a duel. Think about that, as in consider as in both, because accomplice with that. Yes, it is. So could they be hiding their connection with one another? Could Taylor and Matthews in fact have some type of relationship, or had some type of relationship in some type of way, where they are in fact hiding from police and FBI, as well as all the rest of the evidence and detail that goes with it? Dry snitching, that's a question. I always sense that both are keeping a secret of them killing women together in their past, or they did. And I think either one of them don't, I'm thinking more likely both of them don't want to tell, because it could more likely lead to both men going to jail if one snitches on the other. Especially if they killed the victims together, because you have backstabbing even in death. Look at her face. There's backstabbing even in death, where say one person tries to come out and say, well, such and such did it, and they more likely both were involved in some type of way, whether it was a luring process as the other individual killed her or killed various women and teens. Children, you don't know. Children could have been killed as well. We don't know, right? Not everything is told on TV. So backstabbing doesn't, because the reason why I'm saying this, please don't be foolish with even that, right? When people say there's no way for killers to do this or killers to do that together, as in to hold hands while killing people, and yet you got all type of people out here committing all type of crimes, and then when one person goes to jail, now all of a sudden they're backstabbing that other person they was involved in crime with, so that they can serve less time, just so that other individual can serve time as well. It helps to lay it out there, as in be fruitful in the mouth. I just served it to you. Dear viewers, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think and feel with that. Backstabbing is real even in death, which is why people cover themselves and the rest. Because see, both of these grown men have killed in some type of way. I just don't like that when I hear, because I'm always hearing that sort of thing. Well, there's no way for serial killers to kill together. That is very rare. Well, yeah, AIDS and cancer should be very rare. Look how lethal it is. The more lethal something is, the more rare it stands. Because to not be able to see, I'm dangerous in the mouth and not a mass murderer, serial killer. Think about what I just said. The more deadly, not me, no. The more deadly AIDS and cancer is the more rare it is. Because to know that there's no solve and solution to cancer and AIDS is to say, well, there you go in the rarity. It helps you use your mind and brain and pick things apart in analysis. That's why I'm with Discovery, because I'm dangerous. Dear Michael Jackson, yes, Discovery in fact bought Killing Michael Jackson, a documentary. You in fact want to watch that as in a tune and march slow with that, right? Love to Janet Jackson. I do promotion, yes, for Janet Jackson, and much more with that. But did you get what I said? I should have been not marching over to Congress. No, I should have been a preacher man or woman myself, because what I just said needs to be repeated again. To say that serial killers working together is rare is to say, once again, AIDS and cancer is rare. Because to know that there's no cure for AIDS or cancer is to stand as rare, as a rarity. That's dangerous. It just is. So, and nobody told me that. No, I just came up with that right here on the spot. I always come up with stuff on the spot, which is why discovery always goes for me. Yes, and telling you things that people don't think about or consider, the rest, right? So let's work this out right here on the channel. It's feasible. Which one of them may have been somewhat inexperienced? Which one of those grown men, 32 years old and 37 years old, may have been inexperienced in killing? To help one another, yes, to get rid of, resolve with that, as in put the body away and all that, right? Taylor, you can tell that he had some rage issues. Rage. In the photo with her up above, it's gonna swing back around, and yet it's not a swinger in the bedroom, right? It's gonna in fact swing back around. Look at how cute she is. Very, very beautiful in the face. Which one of them could have had some form of inexperience in killing? Because to know that both of them were into killing sprees and all the rest, right? It's to say even in that there could have been some lack, as in a lack of experience. Just because someone is able to do something very good and thorough doesn't mean that they completely know what it is they're doing, even in the form of killing, because you learn something every day. Experience is one thing. Discovery holds a lot of power and experience. I myself as well, and yet we still learn things every day, and we need other people through those sort of things. I might be able to tell stories, and yet my dictation could be off, which means somebody's going to have to come along. It will and has been discovery, and yet where I come from, I'm more country when I talk. So that type of thing will take years. The experience as in gaining some proper talking and broadcasting, right? We don't have a lot of years. I got to go with what I'm working with. And yet discovery helps me with that, right? That's why I'm with discovery. And yet, yes, it's a long term right here, me sitting here, right? And yet, with that's to still say I still show somewhat of inexperience. You see what I'm going? I can be here and be president or whatever else, right? Possibly working over in Congress somewhere, wherever, right? I can be sharp to the tip and still have some levels of inexperience. We all do. There's people that we know, family members, friends, and all the rest, who work for wherever agencies or business corporations, entities, right, that have experience, and yet they can in fact use more. That's where two killers would come in, as in helping one another out with that sort of thing. Because I know if you put two heads together, even in killing, there's a lot more that you can in fact do, as in get away with. Yeah, and killing. That's lethal and raw. I come out and say any and everything. That I'm reckless in the mouth, and I should be. I'm possibly a semi truck just blasting through something, getting carried away in the mouth. I should. Yeah. What is the covering the tracks with one another? And yet I don't mean an album with that. Because I can stand on here too, and I say that in every other video, I can stand right here on camera and question those grown men all day, such as in a threesome. Well, what type of ways sexually did these two grown men want this young child in bed together? Even if it was just in luring. One grown man had rage issues, and then you got the other grown man that had dreadlocks, right? That's to delve much more deeper into their personality, as in what they could have been, or more than likely was. You have to, when you look at a story, you have to look at the whole piece scientifically and not just look at just the missing person. That's not pushing her to the side or away. No, it's not. But people, they don't question. The some have questioned. They lean to one side. Yeah, some people pick fights and race and all race wars and racial divide with that, right? I'm a party of one with a team of many. That's the punchline. As in, I sit right here by myself with discovery, right? Trying to understand what was the past life of these men, as in what was the reason for Taylor being so angry and rageful. Could be more likely why he possibly killed her, right? Yes, I said that. Get it good and tell everybody, read all about it, as in go pass this video off so other people can get it in their ear and minds too, of what I just said, as in more likely who's guilty. But the rage, having fits of rage and anger, is how people in fact get killed, as in it leads to devastation. Devastation is the end result. Her phone was found on his premises. You got a shattered phone on your premises, right? The dual collaboration and killing. Because see, to walk an individual such as a young female into a trailer, or what some people call a camper, to have her there and then to have the owner of the trailer say that a man with dreadlocks had her in the trailer, and not saying sexually, no, as in they were both in the trailer with her, is it once again question. That man told on himself. Taylor, I'm saying, you told on yourself. Dear Taylor out there, and witness protection on my own end, he told on himself just by putting the man with dreadlocks within his trailer. I can question that scientifically all day sitting here. Because see, you're telling on yourself anytime you say that somebody outside of your premises brought a missing individual inside of your premises. That's to show the direction of the connection of those two individuals, that there in fact was a lot more. There had to be. Because what random man is just walking out on the street with a good looking female, right? But outside of her, we're going to put her to the side for a second. What man with dreadlocks is randomly just not bringing a female, but having a female sitting there in his possession in somebody else's trailer? The oddity and the rarity on my own end to call that sort of thing out, as in what I just did about these two grown men. Their relationship had to be much more deeper, as in there was no casualness or something. I don't see anybody walking around on the street saying, hey, my name is Mr. Taylor, I own this trailer or camper, and I see you over there, Mr. Matthews, with your dreadlocks. Come out and hang out with me in my trailer with this young beautiful girl for a day. I just told. Who does that? Was the relationship, was it or was it not casual? He told on himself. Pass my video around, and it ain't for my view purposes. No, it's in fact for Alexis, because more people need to see this video. They in fact need to see this video where even men can be opportunists. That's even women can be opportunists, right? Right? That's to say the relationship had to be much more deeper and stronger, yes, between those two men. I keep getting at that more and more time and time again. What random individuals are sitting together in one grown man's trailer or camper while having a female there in the presence with that? Who does that sort of thing? How did they meet on the street is what I'm trying to ask. That's in fact, let me rewind again, no tape or play button involved. Yes, shouts out to Oprah. With even that, she would question as well. If the Oprah Winfrey show was still alive, as in resurrection, dear love, what grown men are sitting together in the same camper where Alexis' phone was found, and not only that, multiple evidence of her was found in that grown man's camper, Taylor himself, and yet to have another figure with dreadlocks, Matthew, and you saying, well, yeah, the man with dreadlocks, he was in my trailer or my camper with her. That relationship between those two grown men, I'm able to see that far. It's laughable on his own end because it shows the stupidity on his own end. He told on himself. He just did, and I just did as well. He told on himself. Because a swing back around is to say it's coming later, as in what might be found out. And what I'm saying, dear FBI, they see me. FBI watch everything. Shouts out to the FBI, deuces on even that, and smooches with that, undercover with that. FBI watches everything. What goes around comes back around, as in it transmits. You don't know what in fact comes later, what even that, as in the show and tell, as I say. Right? It might be made in the grave on even both of Matthew and Taylor, as in what comes out being found out. Retail with Bill. Or possibly not so, but it will be found out some type of way. As in, there's just no way I cannot see that two grown men standing around being random and average and all the rest, whatever luring going on, and then one grown man tells on another grown man, and yet all was in his own premises. Because what grown people is walking around here just allowing random other grown men in their premises? Men are more territorial, yes, and can be sometimes, than women. Women can be very possessive in nature, right? And yet the porn of Taylor, as well as ripping up at faces and putting them and gluing faces on other bodies such as heads and all the rest, is to say that man killed what he did. And not only that, people need to consider Alexis, her mother, when you question these sort of things. I said that in the beginning of the opening, and I'm saying it again. People need to be devoting videos to her mother, because even she sits in heartbreak, and you don't know how she has questioned herself. Sometimes grieving would more likely blind your questioning, as in delving deeper. Well, could that have happened? What did those two grown men, despite one blaming another, what could they have wanted to do with my baby? Sometimes two mothers have intuition, such as a sensing of what. That's not saying, not Eve or anything on the mother end, not her mother, but various mothers, or when their children come up missing, right? But sometimes grief can blind you, as in block you not being able to see, right? The full picture, the full scope, which is why I'm sitting here, right? But people that make these YouTube channels and YouTube accounts and all the rest, even Discovery and yes, Crime Watch Daily or whatever else, right? You need to dive deeper with that. Yes, it can pose a risk and possibly other issues, right? And yet helps to not stand in the way of questioning, right? Her mother, it makes me question her level of thinking with the grief, because even grief can lock you out, even in questioning, not being able to see, well, could this have been this, or could that, because the focus so much on the child, you can't see outside of the child once you lost a child, right? But these two grown men, no, threesome or something. Could they have had a threesome with her? What other question do I feel like I'm missing and asking? The porn, see, that's why that porn, every time the porn comes up, the level of not pedophilia, but pervertedness with the porn, right? That's to say that any grown man carrying porn around the way that he did is willing to do anything sexually, and more than likely have other grown men involved in that in the process. The porn and the nudity and lewdness and lewd act with that, what they could have did with her and her body. So the story. Alexis Murphy, of 17 years old, went missing on August 3rd, 2013, as she was last seen at a local gas station. She was seen at a gas station in Livingston, Virginia, as Murphy is from Nelson County, Virginia. There has been no word of where she is. No one knows where she is, which is why she's still missing, right? At that time, 48-year-old Randy Taylor stood trial on May 1st, 2014 for the murder of Murphy, after evidence was found in his trailer. And he was, and the sentencing and the serving of time, Mr. Taylor, you're asking, 2 life sentences. And he too has been, yes, in question of pinpointing to her disappearance. But he had been the one that did it, right? The victimization and all the rest of this teen who disappeared back in 2010. Not her. Samantha Clark of 2010. When it comes to, yes, let me rewind back. I'm not editing note. 2 life sentences when it comes to Samantha Clark, who went missing in 2010, right? But that's still, when it comes to him, in relation to him serving time, for those that have heard the story, right? When there was a mix-up, and even that, which is why I mixed up, because to have too much going on with one individual, as I say, more than likely he had to have did something. Because I messed up. But to have too many people that, because see, I'm sensing that more than likely he killed more than just the individuals that the disappearance of them being missing or have died, right? I feel that he killed more. Which is why it's so easy for me to even mess up on camera, because as I'm questioning, I'm thinking as well while telling the story that some of these grown men, no. Because to be covering your footiness to say, well, what happened in and with all of that. 2010, Samantha Clark and 2 life sentences, right? And then you had the mix up with even him being involved with Alexis. There's prosecutors and all the rest when you drag them into the story in the room with that, right? Courtroom and all that, right? It's to say, well, we got to mix up here with this individual. He may have did it or he may not have did it, right? We might in fact be wrongfully charging him in the yes of Alexis, in the murder of Alexis Murphy, right? Courtrooms and all the rest with the judges, there in fact do be issues and mistakes with even courtrooms, as in the sentencing and the wrong sentencing of wrong individuals. And yet I can keep sensing and feeling, I can feel with a strongness that even this man is guilty. I said his name already, right? So eyelashes as well as a strand of hair were found in Taylor's trailer, both in which belonged to Murphy. Blood was found on a t-shirt in which belonged to Taylor. That t-shirt being found hidden in his... Why would you need to... See, because the man is guilty. Just leave me alone. Let me be restful and sleep while I'm here on this camera. Just leave me alone and go find Alexis. Yes, go find her mother and show her off. Yes, with this. Not show her off. Allow me to show Alexis off so that her mother can see this video after you share. Share it with as many individuals as you can. Dear prosecutor and the team and all the rest with that. Because see, why would you need to have blood, dear Taylor, on your t-shirt? Why is there blood on your t-shirt wrapped up and yet it's hidden in your trailer and camper? Same place where other belongings. And this DNA having DNA, Alexis DNA. So where is she? Because see, even blood points to death. And I've said everything which is all to be said, and has it all been read at face. I'm a writer. I should be, right? That's to say farewell to Alexis. May God rest her soul with even that, because she didn't deserve to die in that way. An individual having rage, and then the other loser with the dreadlocks, I called him out because I don't fear either one, even if they freely walk in the streets, because I will tell them to their, yes, I in fact, because I'm cold-blooded and standing right here, I will even tell them to their face how much they're a loser. I cannot care. See, some people, they walk around with too much fear in life and not sane. And I said that already. Well, you killed her. Well, you're a loser as well. You're a dumb fuck loser as well. So many are. But to have a t-shirt wrapped up with the blood on it, that's the 3rd or 4th time I said that. And yet it was his t-shirt, right? Found on his premises, in his premises, and yet it was hidden. Along with that, you got the eyelashes that was there, as well as that strand of hair that was there. All this found in his trailer. And yet she's still missing. Blood, in fact, equates to death. Because what is he going to do? Some people will have be lost in la la land thinking, well, more than likely he probably beat her and she ran down the street somewhere, and that's why she's missing, because she don't want to be found. She don't even want her mother to find her. She don't want anybody to find her because she fears him after he tried to beat her to death. No, more likely he did beat her to death. As in, there was no running down somewhere trying to get away and hiding from family members. You see all type of things online. I see all type of things where people don't know how to question properly. I said that in the opening of my video, how when somebody go missing and if there's blood on a t-shirt and it belongs to the individual that's missing, the blood and the t-shirt belongs to the male that have killed the individual that's missing, people will want to come up with all type of theories, as in a petty theory. Well, you know, he beat her and she got in her car and drove away, and she don't ever want to see her family again because then he might find out where she is. There's, I think, witness protection, and even that, even if it don't involve murder, as in there's restraining orders, there's all type of things in protection, just enough for Alexis Murphy herself to want to come home and be with family and not be running away from somebody that done try to beat and kill her. As in, home will be more likely the first place she will run to, because even protection stands in that. Hallelujah with that. I'm so deep, I should have been a preacher. I said that already. Yes, hallelujah, amen with that. And yet I'm not religious, and what I said just stood out to even you that feel that, well, she more than likely don't want to come home. She don't want her family, whatever. It's not her family she's running away from. I said more than likely where she is. It's not her family. Even if she was alive today in 2019, it wouldn't have been her family she would be running away from. It would be him she's running away from. And yet you run to your family and not away from your family when trying to get away from some loser, killer. Think wisely and logically with that. Just said. So, a torn fingernail and a diamond earring stud was found in Taylor's trailer. Let me repeat that, seeming I messed up. A torn fingernail and a diamond earring stud was found in Taylor's trailer. Taylor, in fact, has rage issues. Yes, he does. So Jesse Matthews, the man with the dreads. Let me rewind right quick. Let me pause. Y'all hold on right there. Cause oops, let me turn my phone up. Cause I want to take a peek at something right quick. Make sure I didn't miss nothing. Just pause. Talk amongst yourself if you're out there with that, right? Hold on. Wait. Live streaming is one of the best things for this sort of thing. Okay, so getting back to what I was saying. Okay, so Jesse Matthews Jr. He was in fact charged in abduction of a 18-year-old at that time by the name of Hannah Graham. It's too much murder all over this story. Hannah Graham, yes, 18 years old. And not only that, they're too young. She attended University of Virginia. I'm sorry. Rewinding. She attended University of Virginia. Matthew was charged for and with attempted capital murder and sexual assault, as his DNA was linked to the death and disappearance of Morgan Harrington. Did you get that? There's two people, as in who was killed. He was charged in abduction of 18-year-old Hannah Graham, right? As well as he was charged for and with attempted capital murder and sexual assault, as his DNA was linked to the death and disappearance of a Morgan Harrington after she vanished in 2009. Her remains were found on a farmland, and I believe, yes, she was a Virginia Tech student. With that, Matthew has been linked with at least 5 alleged sexual assaults. as many in the public question if he was responsible for the disappearance of Alexis. There's too much murder and they too young. That allows me to even get angry on this camera. I should. Once again, Matthew has been linked with at least 5 alleged sexual assaults. As many in the public question if he is responsible for the disappearance of Alexis. That goes back to that dual team in which I'm questioning. Killing together. You don't know, could have been lovers. You don't know what people do. 2 grown men having threesomes with women, even in porn being involved, right? Luring women with that. You don't know, right? Somehow it's believed and has been cleared by police that there was another individual involved in the disappearance of Alexis Murphy and not Matthew. Did you get that? Somehow it's believed as well as him. It has been cleared. It's believed as well as has been cleared by police that there was another individual involved in the disappearance of Murphy, Alexis Murphy, and not Matthew. It's said that that other male figure had cornrows and not dreadlocks, as Matthew is known for wearing dreadlocks. All is questionable. It always is. Dear viewer, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think and feel about that, as well as the story and the video, as in what do you think and feel, who could have did what and the reason why, and the temptation and murder with that. And love to Alexis Murphy, love to her family out there. Made the video just for them. Could be serving it at the right time because to not see enough faces doing it, missing black individuals more than anything, because to be black is to do it now in the here and today, and stop blaming other races. I know about racism, we all do, right? And yet there's more important things matters to focus on, such as people that look like you where they're missing, as in put as just as much emphasis on black missing people that look like you. Put more emphasis in that, and logic and reasoning skills on that, as in mark it off with that more so than you play into racism. All races are not playing a part. I'm able to say that. That's why I'm with Discovery. All races and nationalities and all those are not playing a part, because to get carried away, well, such and such don't like me because I'm white, such and such don't like me because I'm black, such and such don't like me because I'm neutral, such and such don't like me because I rode down the block. That's all petty and stupidity. Because see, there's many mixtures of races of people out here missing that look like you, and yet you don't care enough to get on the camera, and yet you want to stand and frown about racism. That shows that you don't care about your own kind. I'm not saying you, the viewers that's watching me, but once this video gets spread to other individuals out there, they in fact need to see this video, what I'm saying. To not care about your own kind and play too much into racism is why people don't come home at all. That's all to be said for that. Now moving on. Have some care, as in do care. To receive an audio, we are in fact on investigationdiscovery.com. Yes, you can come here yourself and check it out. Global platform, investigationdiscovery.com. Once again, to receive an audio visual is to in fact click the play button. You would in fact see as well as hear in the preview. On last night, to gain access through lock and key is to know this is padlocked down right. It's exclusive. To gain access is to say you're going to have to in fact provide your provider, as in who you're subscribed to gain access to that. ID Go original series. These are in fact goodies. I call them cookies. And yet it's not from McDonald's. No. Crime Feed News, crimefeednews.com. To gain access to the crime feed, click right within here. You will in fact be directed to the outside. Yes, crimefeed.com for the latest, greatest in murder and mayhem. Crimefeed.com. To receive a newsletter from Investigation Discovery, yes, type your email address in and click next, and you would in fact receive a newsletter. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on even this story. I can't see anything else as in a possible likely outcome of Alexis Murphy. I can sense and feel and believe. Sometimes I'm wrong. Yes, sometimes I'm wrong. People go missing and I can be wrong and saying, well, you know, such and such don't seem right. Amanda Eller, when I said more than likely, because see, I sense that I was like, well, was she cheating or something? Was she out in the woods or something? Was she cheating with someone? Cheating on her boyfriend? Cheating on her, who she was involved with, right? And didn't want to be found, or did she want to get away? And then something kept saying, no, more likely she's dead and she's not coming back. But my first thought was maybe she don't want to be found. And remember, I mentioned it in the video, and come to find out, she was later found, right? You don't know why people go missing, even in murder, right? But yeah, humans are in fact defective, as in we can be wrong at times. I am wrong. Yes, I am in fact wrong at times. And so, in saying that, I leave that to be that. Let me know once again what you feel about the story. Who could have did what or why? As even your opinion is valuable in that. You don't know whose opinion is able to solve murders and possibly put two grown men away for a long time. As in serve them death with that. Because I can feel with that. That's all for now, and I'm gone. Enjoy your day, and I will in fact enjoy mine. Bye.